If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos.
Hey everybody, happy Saturday, and we are gonna make butter poached lobster from our new book, right? And if you don't want to buy lobster, you can do this with shrimp, you can do this with chicken, you can do this with vegetables if you're a keto vegetarian, whatever you want. But we thought that we'd do butter poached lobster today because it would be something fun to have for Easter Sunday next week. That's next week already, right? So you could get your lobster on and make that. So we're going to open up this fantastic new book to page 254. So if you're watching this at a different time and you have the book in front of you, 254 is the page you want to go to. Now we have to make, it's called a Vermont, and Vermont is a creamy butter-like substance. It's a little tricky to make. And we are going to use Kerrygold butter. You know why? Because look at these two different butters. This is like pale. Look at that beautiful color. Butter, right? It's a little tricky though. So first we need to start with the lobster. It comes with the shell on it, and you don't want to do that. The first time I tried making butter poached lobster, I had the shell on, so don't do that, right? So I have this awesome cooking shears, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn it over. Oh, I want to mention this first. Make sure to take your lobster out of the fridge about a half an hour before you're going to make it. If you forget to do that, put it in some warm water to bring it to room temperature, because if you put ice cold lobster into this Vermont, it's going to change the temperature too much and it's going to ruin it. So I'm just going to take the scissors and be very careful because there's spiny parts on the lobster. And you're just going to cut that. You're going to crack it kind of open and wiggle it out of the shell. So, be careful. Ouch.
What? The legs?
Craig did this for me last time. I might need his help right now.
I need you, Daddy.
Whoa! Watch out. So we're just going to wiggle the shell out.
Ew, blood.
Blood? No, it's just pink. If you can grab that shell. So, here's one that's already shelled, and I'm going to put it into my beautiful cast iron pot. Now you want to find a pot that is really small because it'll mean that you need less butter when you actually make it. Before I put the butter in here, I want to find out how much butter I actually need. Yes? Oh yeah, I can't forget that part. So as Craig gets that lobster out of there, it is stuck. Should have tested that. Hey, Grandpa, he said. Grandpa, are you watching? Grandpa Joe? Well, maybe I should have prepared both of them. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put a little water in here because it's so hot. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put these beautiful pieces of lobster nice and snug into your pot, and then you want to cover it in water.
Cold water?
Okay, it doesn't, yeah, I like room temperature water. And I want it just enough to cover the lobster, okay? Yeah. And then what I'm gonna do, get a measuring cup and dump the water into this measuring cup. So this is how much butter you're gonna need. So it depends on how big your pot is. I have this beautiful Staub pot, which I absolutely love. Now I'm gonna take the lobster back out. I had a, take the lobster out, put it into your dish.
Mom?
Yes, honey?
It would be better to put this in there.
Yes, it would. So, before you start,
You'll put that in.
you need a tablespoon of water, okay? And we want to bring that water to boiling. So, I'm going to somehow turn this back on. But I don't want it that hot. Okay.
200 degrees.
So the trick is you have to get this water, 1 tablespoon of water to boil. I know this sounds really complicated, but it's not, I promise. And then you want your butter all cubed up, okay? And we know that we need about 1 cup of butter to make this, okay? So you can dump that out, and I'm gonna get 1 cup of butter in there. Thanks, babe.
1 cup of water?
1 cup of butter. So get all my butter ready. All right.
I think it's higher.
So, still not hot enough. We'll get this cranking up. This is supposed to work super fast. So, when you start making your Mons sauce, you're gonna do 1 tablespoon at a time. Okay, so now it's boiling, all right? So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit because you don't want the butter to get above 160 degrees. If that happens, it's going to separate. So just take your time and then it's gonna work just perfectly, okay? So it's just like making any kind of emulsion. You wanna start slow, and then once it gets fuller, you can add more and more faster. So it doesn't take too long. But once you get the lobster in there, it only takes about 5 minutes to make it, so it doesn't take a very long time. So you just start adding your butter pieces. And if you ever want me to do a cooking video of something from the book, just let me know and I'll do it. It'll be fun, right?
Yeah.
What do you want to make next? Hamburgers?
No.
Sure. They're afraid they're going to have to eat the lobster.
No. I don't want to eat the lobster.
You don't have to. I'm actually going to New Orleans on Monday to do a couple cooking videos and TV segments of, I think we're going to do the coffee cake with brown butter glaze, which is in the book. We're going to do a bourbon chicken and flappers from the book. There's a couple, I think I'm doing about, I can't remember, I think like 6 cooking videos. Okay, so this, maybe we can show you what it looks like in here so everybody can see. Ooh.
Oh, how come I can't see? I can't see. I only if I saw a view.
Again, you're gonna want your, oh, it's kind of getting hot. You wanna get your,
Wait, it's yellow?
it's a nice creamy sauce. And just that little tablespoon of butter makes this wonderful emulsification. Hey Mike, I'll show it to you in a minute, okay bud? Again, you can, now that it's emulsified, I can add it a little bit faster. The trick is just not to get it above 160 degrees. I know I keep saying that, but you really don't want this creamy mixture to break. I have a funny story while we're getting this all prepped. I was taking pictures the other day, and when you take pictures, you bend down and stuff, and I got really, really dizzy.
Oh, it's yellow.
Yeah, it's yellow. I got really, really dizzy, and I was concerned that maybe I was getting too much vitamin D or something. Well, as it turns out, if you guys are following us, we were in Hawaii, and I was swimming all the time, swimming, and I had too much water in my ears, and that was causing my equilibrium to be off, so I was getting all dizzy. Well, I was telling my publisher about this, and he said that years ago he lived in Thailand in a hut, and he had the same problem where he was getting dizzy and falling down.
But
He went to the doctor, and what was in his ear?
a humongous bug.
A humongous bug. The nurse almost she was gagging because it was so gross.
How about this big?
All right, so now we have this great butter emulsification. I'll show it to you. It's like a creamy butter sauce. Almost looks like hollandaise to me, but there's no lemon in there. Okay? So you want to keep making sure it doesn't get too hot. It's okay, Kai. Now we're going to put the butter right in there, or the lobster right in there, and you can see it's going to get covered. All right? So make sure it's nice and covered, and then you're going to set your timer for about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the timer.
And then, once the lobster is no longer opaque, and it's nice and pink, then it's actually done. So, you might want to check your temperature if you have a temperature gauge to make sure you're at about 160 degrees. And that's going to make sure that you're cooking the lobster. So maybe I should...
It's gonna make like a toy.
This electric one goes from 140 degrees to 212 degrees. It's a big difference.
How much a tool?
Big difference. Can I have a napkin? Quickly. So, if there's anything that you guys want me to make from any of the cookbooks, just like throw it out there, yell it out there now, because we love to cook. We're always looking for what to make for lunch, so we'll just make something from the book. And I'm a visual learner. I love cooking shows. I learn so much from them. And we'd love to be that for you. If, you know, when I read a recipe, if it's really long and it looks hard, that's why I did this recipe, because it looks so hard, but it's really so simple. Once the lobster gets in there, it's 5 minutes to make. So, Craig wants to say something. Cut. Okay, so we're gonna have this for lunch. This is what it looks like in the end, and we make actually creamy risotto that goes with it. And that's what we're gonna have for lunch. What are you guys having? Have a good Saturday.
Sharing is caring. Share this video